We have learned about the project management cycle and how to define a project. Now, we will learn about the planning process for project management. You may be wondering about how you will plan for a project. Let's learn more about planning. We learned about the first stage of defining the project. Now, let's understand the smaller steps involved in the planning process. The first step of the planning process is making a list of all the tasks we have to complete for the project. This list will help us answer the question, what are all the things I need to do to finish my project? For example, while building your house, your task list will include all tasks you need to complete to build your house, such as buying raw materials like cement, bricks, and laying the foundation of the house, painting it, setting up furniture, etc. The second step of the process is to decide in which order the tasks will be completed. This allows us to answer the question, which tasks need to be completed in what sequence? For example, while building the house, you cannot lay the foundation for the house if you have not purchased cement and bricks. Therefore, the order in which tasks are completed will be important. The third step is to answer what types of tasks need to be completed and then categorize them according to three categories. The three categories of tasks are: number 1, whether a task can be completed independently of other tasks. Number 2, whether a task can be completed at the same time as other tasks. And number 3, whether a task requires the completion of other tasks before it can be done. For example, an independent task while building the house will be purchasing raw materials. Tasks that can happen at the same time could be laying the foundation for the house as well as building a fence or wall for security. While painting the house is an example of a task that requires many other tasks like brickwork, wiring, etc. to be finished before. The fourth step is to answer the question, what are the materials and resources required to complete this project? There are two main types of resources. Number 1, physical resources like the brick and cement required to make a house. And number 2, human resources, which are the skilled people required to complete the project like architects, electricians, and masons whose skills are needed in constructing a house. For example, while constructing the house, you will need skilled professionals such as masons, plumbers, electricians, and other construction professionals. You will also need to know what construction materials you will require, such as paint, pipes, bricks, cement, wiring, etc. In the fifth step of the planning process, you will answer the question, how much time and money will be required to complete this project? In this step, you calculate the costs of all the physical and human resources you will need and make a budget for your project. For example, while building your house, this is when you will calculate how much your raw materials cost, how much you will have to pay skilled professionals like plumbers, construction workers, and electricians to build your house. The sixth step of the planning process is making a timeline which helps you answer when will each of the tasks for this project be completed. To make a timeline, you have to decide when each of the tasks will be started and when they'll be finished, and set deadlines for your team members to complete those tasks. there are many different ways to make timelines. Two examples are shown. Number 1. If you are unsure of how much time each task will take, you could make a weekly timeline in which you list all the tasks that need to be completed in a given week. Or number 2, if you are certain of how much time each task will take, then you can add the date a task will start and the date it will end in the task list that you made in the first step of planning. For example, if we were making a timeline for house construction, our first task would be to purchase all the materials required. Then we could start making the structure of the house, and then other tasks such as wiring, plumbing, and painting can take place. The last step of the planning process is to ask yourself, what are the things that could go wrong during this project? Thinking about challenges in advance helps us to make backup plans and find solutions easily when faced with any problems. For example, if you are building your house during the rainy season, then the weather could affect your timelines and delay parts of the building process. If you have thought about this beforehand, then you will be able to ensure that your house construction is not affected. Let's look at all the 7 steps of the planning process together. Once you have completed these steps, you will be ready to implement your project. So far, we have learned about 2 stages of project management: define and plan. To complete the project management cycle, watch the remaining videos.